attacks. This week we're going over back defense. This is my second day teaching it, so obviously on Mondays and Tuesdays we kind of laid down the general principles and we start adding details to it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So it's going to get a little bit more intricate as the week goes on starting tomorrow, but for now, let's just keep it bare bones, right? You got your back taken, and he's got the over, exactly, he's got the over under. Now, I have to say again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu scoring being what it is, they prioritize the legs. This would get him 4 points. This would get him 0 points. However, the easiest way for him to control me is through his arms and legs both. But if you had to pick one, arms are a better control point, okay? So, it's much easier, let go of your arms. It's much easier for me to escape this, where he's got both legs in and no arms, than it is the opposite, where he's got both arms in, and no legs, okay? Just want to make that very clear. Worst possible scenario, he's got both arms and legs in, okay? All right, so let's get to the technique. Priorities in order. Number 1, don't get submitted, okay? So in order to facilitate that, I'm going to sandwich grip or hoagie grip, whatever you want to call it, that top arm, and I'm going to drop my chin to make it harder for him to choke me. That's just a stalling tactic, okay? But I need to do something. So hoagie grip, thumbs in, using your thumbs, drop the chin, okay? From here, I'm going to fall to my weak side. I'm also going to do what happens if you fall to the strong side. This technique is exactly the same, okay? Number 2, I need to clear the legs somehow. My priority is to clear the bottom leg, okay? If I can do that without using my hands, that's even better. I'm going to get my top foot. I'm going to push his foot to the ground as I straighten out my bottom leg here. And now I can get my leg on top of it here, right? Now, the last part, I have to create incongruency, right? So this meaning we're congruent. I want to get perpendicular to my opponent. A good way to think about that is to get my head, shoulders, and hips to the ground. So I'm going to start using my feet, now that I'm over his leg, I'm going to start using my feet to scoop my hips and my shoulders out until I'm firmly on the ground here. If Ernest doesn't move, it's very easy for me to end up on top. I guarantee you he's going to move, he's going to try and mount you. Now my priority has to be to put myself in a defensible position. You're going to do exactly what I did now. You're going to use both hands to push his leg into the half guard here and start fighting from here. If you want to go to the full guard, you can. If you want to attack from the half guard, you can. Okay, so again, let's look at that in order. Priorities, don't get submitted, clear the hook. I know we're going to go top of bottom hook. Right now we're doing bottom hook. And start creating incongruencies, okay? Again, don't get submitted. Thumbs included, hoagie grip your opponent's arm, drop your chin. In this case, I'm falling to my left, which is the underhook side, the weak side, okay? Here, if you fall to the strong side, the technique is exactly the same. From here, let's pretend that I for whatever reason, I can't use my foot to get his leg to the ground. Okay, no problem. I'm going to have to sacrifice a little bit of my defense. I'm going to take my bottom hand, in this case my left hand, cup his heel, do the exact same thing. Straighten out my leg as I shed his hook to the floor and immediately get my leg over it so I can go back to defending that choke. Here. Once my leg is over it, now I have to start shimmying my hips, head, back to the mat. He's going to start to try and mount me, and when he does, I'm going to go for that half guard here. Any questions so far? This technique is exactly the same whether you fall to the weak side or to the strong side. To the strong side, the only added threat is he might go for a head and arm choke. That won't change your technique too much. You're still working to get to the half guard, so make sure you get your elbow in front of him as quick as possible. Cool? Again, we're going to add more details to this as the week goes on, but for now, let's just keep it bare bones. Good? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you can't get the bottom hook. Sometimes you got to get the top hook off. This looks a little bit more complicated. It kind of is if you're beginning. I'm not gonna lie. What? There's an added step, in it, but it's the roll that gets everyone confused. So I'm gonna explain it very slowly. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. From here, I get the hoagie grip on his arm. I tuck my chin. I'm defending the choke first. Priority number 2, I have to clear a hook. But for whatever reason, I can't get that bottom hook. But for whatever reason, I can get the top hook off. Okay. Now I run into a problem because I can't sit over his hip anymore because the bottom hook is still there. This will happen a lot when your opponent has like a weak handcuff and he stuffs your arm. Good, stuff my arm. He's got a weak handcuff and get your leg over it. here, right? Because then I can get my leg out here. And I can also kind of get my arm out if he's got a weak handcuff. If he's got a strong handcuff, yeah, you're not going anywhere. So, long story short, I got my top leg out. As soon as I get my top leg out, my forehead's gonna hit the mat and my ass is going straight in the air. Here. Okay? Now, I've created that incongruency. Chances are, if Ernest doesn't move, I'm literally just gonna stay on top. But chances are he's gonna want to throw that hook back in. Exactly. And now I'm in a horrible position again. Okay? So I have to move before he throws that hook in. So let's try that again. From here. Once you create that incongruency, you're gonna drop that hip to the floor and roll. Here, defend. It's priority 1. Good. Priority 2, shed the hook. In this case, it was a top hook. As soon as my foot hits the ground, my forehead goes to the floor, butt in the air. Now I'm going to do this very slowly. As I feel him trying to get back on top and throw that hook in, my free leg, in which in this case is my right leg, go ahead, is going to drop to the floor and going to start to roll here. Okay? Everybody come over here because I want to show you what just happened. He's still on my back, but watch. My hip is now on the floor. It is physically impossible for him to get his hook back where it needs to be because a solid object can't pass through a solid object and the floor is helping me at this point. Okay. Now my priority has to be to keep him in the half guard and to turn into him as he tries to mount me just like he did before. Boom. And now I have to get him back in the half guard here. Okay. Does everybody see how that worked? I used the floor to prevent that second hook from coming back in. Okay. That's what throws a lot of people off. So let's try it again. Let's turn this way here. From here, priority 1, don't get submitted. Priority 2, shed the hook. In this case, it was a top hook. As soon as my foot hits the ground, my forehead goes to the ground, my butt goes in the air. Let's say, stay right there, Ernest. Let's say Ernest doesn't move. I'm literally just going to take top position here. But that's not going to happen. Ernest is going to desperately want to get on top and throw that hook in. As I see him go for the hook again, I'm going to drop this hip straight to the floor as I roll. Here. He still has my back, but he can no longer get that second hook in. Everybody can see that, right? His knee's behind me. He's trying to get it underneath me. It's not going to happen because the floor is there. Hook his top leg and start working your way to the half guard. Yep, he's trying to get on top now. That's fine. Look, I'm blocking his knee so I can get to the half guard here. I'm shrinking out and I'm turning to face him, which a lot of you guys are doing. Any questions? What's up, Bill?
You keep shedding the hook with your hand. Is that what you want us to do?
Ideally, no. But to get the top hook off, unless he's got a lazy handcuff, you're probably going to end up using your hand. Ideally, my hands would never leave his biggest offense, which is the rear naked choke, right? Sometimes you got to take some risks, though. Which is why, on the first one I told you to use your feet. Sometimes you got to use your hands. Sometimes you got to use both, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But yeah, the top hook you're probably going to end up using the hands, unless he makes a mistake. Any questions? All right, let's give it a try. On 3, 1, 2, 3. So, technique stays exactly the same. I'm here, right? Priority 1, don't get defended. Priority 2, shed the hook. So my forehead hits the ground, my butt's in the air. When I go to drop the hip, watch. A lot of you guys are doing this. You're just dropping your hip from here. Don't. The hip that you're going to drop, you're going to straighten out that leg. Okay? You're going to straighten out that leg and then drop the hip. So as Ernest goes to climb up on my back, I'm not going to just drop from here. I'm straightening out this leg, dropping the hip. So I get to the floor that much faster. Okay? Again, now my rotation has to be faster than his ability to keep up with my rotation, which should be easy because I'm using the floor and I'm the quote-unquote inner circle. He's the outer circle. So I start to turn, and now he's got to play catch-up. And now I'm one step ahead of him, right? If I can, I'm not an engineer, but if you have like a gear and then something around it, right? The inner circle rotates faster than the outer circle, right?
Yep.
You're talking about...
2 people said yes, 2 people have no idea what I'm talking about. You're an engineer, right? You can explain.
It's like a transmission type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Talking about the
Like a smaller clock moves faster than a bigger
The
clock?
thing
What's
with
that?
the little...
Like a smaller hand clock?
Sure, the smaller hand. Not really, but okay, sure.
The gear with the less teeth moves faster.
There we go. Why? But why?
Because it's
Shorter
less...
distance.
Shorter distance. Yeah. If I have a gear that's this big and a gear that's this big, if they're rotating at the same rate, right? The smaller one's going to make more rotation.
It's like a mountain bike when you change gears or
There we go. Yeah, the smaller gears go faster, right? All right. That was way more complicated than it needs to be, but that's my fault. All right. Any questions?
Not after this.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back, guys. For this example, we have Britt in the white gi and Trace hitting the escape techniques. Britt's got the back falls to the weak side. Trace is already starting to get a good angle with her hips. Let's see if she could do the same with the upper body. So I can't see it here, but her hips are almost out. There we go. Gets a bottom leg free. She just has to be careful that Britt might try an attempt a head and arm choke as she comes up. Got the bottom leg relatively secure for now. She can't get lazy with the knee. There we go. Secures the knee. Turns into her and gets the escape. Very good. They run it back again. I think we're going 1 minute a piece on this one. Same thing. It's a double hoagie grip. It's trying to take her to the weak side. Trace opts to fall to the strong side, it looks like. Again, getting her hips out on that angle, trying to beat that bottom leg. Good. Use your hand to get the bottom leg off. And now, look at that again. Uses her hand to clear the bottom leg. Now, Britt realizes she's losing the back position by a lot because Trace can continue to get her hips onto the floor here. So what Britt probably wants to do is at least make the best of a bad situation. Get on top, but you'll very smartly see Trace push that leg in between hers. Bam, right there. Oh, she goes even further. Sorry. She goes even further. Ends up on top. That was very nice. Let's look at that again. Boom. Gets like a reverse sumigashi grip, for lack of a better word, with her legs. Kind of butterflies on top. And mounts. Now, granted, this is not at 100%, but principles, at least the principle of the escape was solid. Run it back again. Yep, attacking the choking arm, so you'll notice that Britt had her hand switched on that one. Trace does the same thing, falls to the strong side, gets her hips to the floor, gets the top leg in between her leg this time. Now, she really has to worry about Britt getting the head and arm choke here. Now we got Josh in the front and Kirk in the back in the green gi. We run it. Josh falls to the weak side. Looks like he's trying to get the top leg clear. He's got to get his butt in the air. Can't let Kirk get that hook back in. Very good. Uses the floor. He's getting a little bit lazy with the legs right now. So if this were a real sparring match, right about here, Kirk would probably start to shrimp out, get that leg over, let go of the arms, etc., etc. So I'd like to see Josh right about here really get this knee above this knee so he could start to isolate that leg. And also, as soon as he can, use his hands to push that knee through. But we're not going 100% yet, so acceptable. I think I told him as much right there. Skip forward a little bit. Oh, too much. From here. Also the strong side this time. Still goes for the top leg, clears it. Gets the roll again. Okay. Again, he's being very lazy with the legs right now. Kirk could have easily stepped over if he wanted to. Now he's being a little bit more vigilant. There we go. Again, prioritize. If you're an MMA, you're trying to prioritize getting on top or getting standing. In jiu-jitsu, you don't lose points per se for being on the bottom. So it's okay to, in my opinion, take a lazier route and end up on the bottom. As long as you're in a guard position. Good job. Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. Let's look at that again. Josh hits that rotation. Now so Kirk is trying to try and get on top. As soon as he does, he gets Kirk's leg in between his. Uses his hand. I don't know if you saw it right there, but uses his hand. Boom. You barely see it. Using his hand to push Kirk's leg this way because you could see Kirk's knee wants to do that. Get to the 3/4 mount and eventually the full mount. Uses his hand and his hips to get into a defensive guard. You got DJ on the back and Kirk defending. DJ falls to the weak side. Kirk gets his butt in the air. Very good. Like to see him get that was good. And manages to get on top. I'd like to see him. So here, I'd like to see him next time instead of falling this way with his hip. Takes a long time to fall. Got to straighten out this leg and drop his hip straight to the floor. That actually wasn't too bad upon review. Here, yeah, it's risky, but it paid off. He got on top. You run it back. Still falls to the weak side again. It's a top leg clear again. And wow, if you could have told me that was an instant replay, I would have believed you. I'd like to see him get a little bit more vigilant with putting DJ's leg into the half guard, but he'll probably discover that as we get into more resistance. Now he could end up inside control. Oh, okay. So let's see what went wrong there. That actually wasn't too bad. I think it was going to end up on top. Same thing. Hits the roll here. Tries to get on top, but be very wary if your opponent has an underhook here. Okay? It's not going to take much for DJ to just throw his intention, for lack of a better word, to his right, to our right. I guess his right as well, and end up in the mount. And because Kirk didn't put in that legwork of putting DJ's leg in between his, he ends up getting mounted. Now, granted, if I were Kirk, I might have made the same call, only because the situation was kind of there, but doesn't always work out. Gets to the weak side, clears the top leg, gets that roll. Okay, now he's more vigilant about getting that leg, just in case he doesn't end up on the bottom. Josh on the back and DJ defending. DJ gets the top leg clear, rotates, continues turning through, gets up on top, as expected. That was pretty good. Everybody looks like they like clearing the top leg. There's a top leg. He used his hand that time. I don't know if you saw it, but yep, blocks Josh coming up and gets a nice deep half guard here. Not a deep half guard, a half guard, the deep underhook. He goes to the weak side and clears the top leg. Fair enough. That's what you're comfortable with. Go for it. Blocks the leg, comes up into the half guard. Beautiful. That's most likely what's going to happen to you when you escape the back. It's hard to end up on top from this position, from this technique, I should say. Kind of hard to end up on top. Not impossible. Obviously, next time we come around to it, we're going to get a little bit more into the details with it. But for now, everybody's looking good. We have Kirk on the back and Bilal defending. Also, strong side. Goes to the bottom hook. Finally seeing some variation. Doing a good job turning into him. He's got to secure that bottom leg and gets on top. Very nice. Again, very little resistance going on, but I think this might have been Bill's maybe first or second day. Here, falls to the weak side this time. There's a bottom hook. Oh, okay, that was risky. He got a little bit lazy here. He kind of paused. Had Kirk wanted to end up on top, he could have. He's doing a good job now blocking Kirk's far leg. Now he can turn into him. He didn't know how to shrimp, but he probably would have shrimped out to get on top for that one. But again, I'm not going to blame him. I mean, he does know how to shrimp. I don't think he knows how to apply the shrimp regularly like a maybe 1 or 2 stripe white belt would be able to. Strong side goes for the bottom hook with his hand this time. He's really got to be vigilant with that leg. Very good. Kirk might have ended up on top there, but Bill was fast enough to get Kirk's leg into a defensive position. Weak side bottom hook. Oh, Kirk gets it back. Uses his hand. Uses his foot. I thought he used his hand. Maybe he used both. So this is almost like, I don't want to say ideal, but defensively ideal situation. Before Kirk even starts to shift his weight on top, you already have your opponent's knee into this half guard here. Hopefully Bill is also looking for an underhook on this side. Which I don't think he did because he doesn't know it. But other than that, very good. Josh on the back, Kirk defending. Weak side, top hook. Whoa, okay, we saw something interesting there. So, let's go back a little bit more. Normally, what I went over was Kirk would continue his rotation this way, right? He would drop this hip to the floor, continue his rotation this way. We see Kirk turn into it. Interesting. Away from it, I should say. But he still achieves the same task. Gets the bottom leg into half guard, but even better, he ends up on top. I'm going to look at that one more time. Boom. Nice. He knows Josh is going to throw that far leg over, and he's kind of banking on the fact that he's going to be able to turn into it. Boom. And catch that leg and end up on top. I might have to try that on myself sometime. They go back. Got a little bit of a closer view now. Top hook rolls through. Okay. So again, this is the risk that we run. Here, Kirk makes a decision. I don't want to play it safe and get Josh's left leg, this top leg, in between my legs. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to continue rolling through and try and end up on top. He almost gets there. His upper body is a little bit out of position. Josh has not a stable base, but it's under Kirk's right now. And he doesn't have the underhook on this side, but I guess he has enough of a momentum coming this way to end up on top. It was a close thing. I don't blame Kirk for trying, but he almost got mounted there. What saved him was that hook at the end, if you saw it. Here, boom, yeah. This is what saves Kirk. Otherwise, if Josh was being a little bit more vigilant with his right foot, he would end up in the mount. But hey, that's why we drill. That's why we, feel free to make mistakes. I'm always telling these guys, you should not be trying to win sparring rounds. Falls, gets a bottom hook out, steps over it. That was very clean. Let's look at that whole thing again. Boom, out. Josh goes to get on top. Boom, gets him in the half guard. Falls to the strong side. Gets his butt in the air, rotates through. Okay, there was a little bit of a battle for top position there. I don't blame Kirk for trying. So here, Kirk is trying to sit back and get his base out before Josh can get his base out, and whoever can recover their base is going to be in a more advantageous position to end up on top. Because they're white belts, I'm not going to talk about the upper body too much. Kirk could have done something like drape his arm over and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about it just yet. Let's just look at their hips for now. Boom, Kirk tries to sit back, but Ernest has a good grip here. As he's sitting back, Kirk's back gets exposed to the mat. He loses that top position battle. However, as Josh comes on top, Kirk is going to try and get that top leg into the half guard, which he does. Which we were basically going over this week. Again, these guys are white belts, so can't ask for much more than that. Very good. All right, we have Bill taking Josh's back here. Josh opts to fall for the weak side. Gets the top leg free, goes to roll. He should be stuffing up. So let's go back a little bit. He should immediately have been stuffing this leg in between. He forgets to do that, continues to roll, and ends up mounted here. That's the only mistake he made. He could have at least pulled it into the quarter guard. I'm probably telling him as much now. He might have wanted to go straight to being on top. But once you realize that battle's lost, the next battle is to take away as much of your opponent's advantage as you can. So let's try it again. Gets the top leg free. Time he's going to roll, and he still forgets to put... he kind of remembered a little bit later. He got the quarter guard now, but better late than never, I guess. But I'd like to see him go for it a little bit sooner. Try it again. Yep. Gets the hoagie grip on the top arm, falls to the weak side, clears the top hook, takes his hips up, rolls, and this time he remembers to get the leg in, and bonus, he gets on top. Not bad. Third time's a charm. All right, we have Zach taking DJ's back here. DJ opts to fall for the weak side. Looks like he's trying to clear the top hook, maybe. Let's see, yep, clears the top hook. Uses his hand to clear the top hook. It's clear. Looks like he's struggling to get his hip in the air. Boom, gets it. Rolls and that was a very nice move. So Zach's left knee is off the ground. You're going to see DJ sense that, and he's going to bring his right leg through that gap to make a guard position. Boom, right through that gap, and he's got his right hand there to reinforce it in case Zach wanted to bring his knee to the ground. Not in this frame, but in previous frames. He's also, looks like he's disconnected Zach's hands, so he's out of danger of the head and arm choke here. You can see him actively pushing that elbow into him here, and he turns to the half guard. Good use of the gi too. He had a grip on the pant leg, not just pushing the knee like I'm used to. I definitely prefer no gi. I like both, but I prefer no gi, and I'm not great at using the gi in and of itself. Weak side gets a top hook clear. Let's see if he can get his hips clear. Kind of does, but uses the floor to get it the rest of the way. Good. And this is what I mean by the experience level difference. White belts probably would have, just no fault of their own, they just don't have the experience. DJ's already thinking defensively. So as he continues his turn, he's going to make sure he doesn't get caught in the head and arm choke here. He's going to push this leg through as this leg comes in, as he rotates this way. My drawing's a mess. And he's going to basically end up in a half guard position. The biggest danger there was the head and arm choke. Zach had a very good fight. He was deep on it, I should say. But DJ managed to turn the half guard, take that advantage away from him. Looks like everybody likes to clear the top hook. Nothing wrong with that. I prefer the bottom hook myself. So Zach is very dangerously close to crossing his legs, which you do not want to do when you're in front of your opponent's hips, because they're going to catch you in that weird foot lock. On hooks, you probably felt that danger there. DJ clears a bottom hook this time. So he's essentially already got Zach's right leg in between his guard. If DJ can scoot his hips out and start turning into his opponent, that's what we're looking for here. Or unless he can get on top as well. Zach doing a good job. Zach looks like he's trying to pull DJ all the way over to the other side so he could get his left hook back in here. Let's see who wins this battle. DJ preventing that by having his right hand on Zach's right pant leg here. So it's going to make it easier for DJ to get an angle, start creating incongruency as he slides his hips out. Yep, just like that, 1 inch at a time. Left leg is clear. He's got to get his hips out. And he's out, and he gets to the half guard. Dave has Josh's back. Josh opts to fall to the weak side. Looks like he's trying to clear the top hook. Use his hand. Yep, grabbing the gi to do it. Hasn't quite cleared the hooks yet. Okay, it looks like he's going for the bottom hook. Maybe not. Looks like he's got the bottom hook clear. See if he can get his hips to the ground now without being mounted. So he, actually I can't tell if he's, okay, now he's got the bottom hook clear. He's doing the right thing to, yeah, I was going to pause it there, but that's good. From here, opts to fall to the weak side again. He's having trouble getting those hooks off. I think I wanted to record 2 matches at the same time. Probably not going to do that. Looks like Zach and DJ again here, I believe. DJ looks like he's trying to get that top hook clear. Yep, using his hand to do it. Zach attacking the collar, very smart. DJ has to use his hands to prevent that a deeper bite on the collar, or else he's in danger of being caught in a cross collar choke. Sees a gap, shoots the gap to get the bottom leg over. Zach with a good collar choke though. DJ's got to roll. Yep, he rolls towards the choke and outspins him and essentially does the same technique that we did today. Very good attack attempt by Zach. Falls to the weak side. Brings his hands back up because he senses Zach going for his collar again. Again, that's a difficult part about these escapes, right? Like, if you take your hands away from your opponent's hands, you're giving them an easier time. It's kind of like almost voluntarily solving the math problem for them, like we did last week with trapping the hands. It's not as bad because your hands aren't trapped, but still difficult. See if DJ can escape. Like, okay, looks like he's got one leg clear. No grips on him. He's going to push that leg through to half guard, I hope. Zach's doing something interesting. He's grabbing DJ's far shoulder here. That way DJ's going to have that combined with the Dagestani handcuffs here. So DJ wants to turn this way, but he can't because of this grip right here. Now, that being said, if Zach maintains this grip, it's going to be hard for him to get on top of DJ because your arms just aren't physically that long. However, it's an interesting, I don't want to say stalemate. Zach definitely still has an advantage. It's an interesting position because they're both kind of stuck where they are. DJ can't really turn to his right because of this Dagestani handcuff here. Zach can't really mount because of his advantage of head here. He can't really mount this way. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, that's simple solution. DJ gets Dagestani handcuffs free. Zach does not appear to be gripping the gi here. So my prediction is that DJ is probably going to turn into him here. I hope I'm right. Yep, turns into Got Khaled taking Bill's back here. Oh, pushes the foot to the ground. Gets over it. Sits. He's got to concentrate on that leg. Yep. Very nice. Not too much resistance on this one. It's probably the next day drilling instead of sparring. Let's see which technique. I'd like to see Bill's hands a little bit lower. And his grip is weak. Look, you see the gaps between his fingers. I'd like to see his grips like right at the end of the lever, we say, right? Like right here, as low as he can. And really use his thumbs and all of his fingers to really get a tight grip around Khaled's arm. Opts to shed the top hook. Turns. Gotta get that. He should already be, if he can, he should already be pushing this leg through, right? There we go. Perfect. Picking up pretty good for a beginner. Khaled also recently took silver at Grappling Industries. Literally happened today. This video is releasing a couple weeks later, but May 14th on in Rahway. Oh, that was a very good escape. Let's look at that again. Also, strong side gets the bottom hook, turns right into it, gets the quarter guard, gets the half guard right there. Unfortunately for Khaled, like it was Mother's Day, so none of us could make it up. Literally his first tournament. He did by himself. He missed one division because he got stuck in traffic. But good job, Khaled. Bill's got Khaled's back. Khaled opts to fall for the weak side. Okay, that's something I've been seeing a lot that I don't particularly like. Notice how Khaled used his right hand to attack his opponent's left foot. That's not ideal. Under high resistance, I don't see it working that often. Don't get me wrong, you're out of options. You got to do what you got to do. Generally speaking, it's going to be the same side attacking. You don't really have an advantage attacking cross grip, in my opinion. Not a very strong push or pull, whatever you want to call it. Not a very strong option to shed the hook. And you're still sacrificing an arm that could be used defending a choke. In my opinion, either use the foot, ideal situation, or use the same side grip. Either way, he gets that leg clear, and he gets the top leg clear. He might be able to end up on top. Turns into him. Like how he broke the grip, too. I think I'm telling him to try not to use the cross. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling him. Use his left hand if he's going to the left to shed the bottom hook. Falls to the weak side again. Yep, now he uses his left hand. Trims his hips out. And gets the half guard. I have no idea what that was. Someone's getting choked out on the other side. Right, good. Everybody drop him to the weak side. Okay, now he's going to shed the top hook using his top hand. That's fine. He's got to get the... Oh, messed. Oh, he almost messed. I don't like that. Yeah, so let's see where he went wrong. Here. As he's rolling here, he should be sliding his bottom knee, in this case his right knee, through that gap and turning, despite the fact that, Bill is still on his back. As much as he can, he should be trying to pull that quarter guard. Yeah, missed an opportunity there, and missed an opportunity there to shrimp. Here we have Khaled defending and Ernest attacking. Khaled opts to fall to the weak side. Using the correct hand to attempt to get up. So, if you can, you're trying to grab your opponent's heel. Looks like Khaled's trying, but he just might not have enough arm strength, or arm length, I should say. Also, when you're using your hands to get your opponent's leg, your own leg shouldn't be lazy. As he's trying to push this to the ground, his leg should be walking backwards, for lack of a better word, in order to facilitate Ernest's leg going down on the ground faster. Or on a better angle, I should say, more efficiently. Gets the top leg free. That was pretty good. Gets the roll, kind of, but he gets the quarter guard and commits to the half guard. Good adjustment. Yeah, use your hands. You're going to use your hand and all legs, both your legs, to try and get your opponent's foot to the ground or in the air, whichever side you're going for. There we go. Looks like he's got that leg free. He's going to roll through quarter guard and half guard. Very good. Here we have Khaled on the back. Ernest defending. Ernest drops to the strong side. See what he does with this. So already starts to turn the angle. Khaled's going to find it very difficult to finish the choke from here. Switches the arm over. Tries to get on top. Doesn't quite get it, but manages to get to the half guard because the video cuts out there. My mistake, the video didn't cut out. I must have just stopped it in the middle. So same situation. Khaled takes Ernest back. Ernest falls to the strong side again. Trying to create that incongruency. He's getting his hips over. Pretty good. He's got one leg out. Gets the arm over. Khaled tries to mount. And very good job using the right arm to keep Khaled in his half guard. Run it back one more time. Drops to the weak side this time. Looks like he's trying to get the top leg free. Okay, and that time, I believe, we ran out of time. Got Bill on the back, Ernest defending. So Ernest hasn't dropped to his side yet. Looks like he's trying to free the legs before he drops to his side. Drops to the strong side, starts to create incongruency. Looks like Bill has a choke. He's going with the gable grip. Can't quite see where Ernest's hands are at, but it looks like he's defending the choke. Starting to create incongruency. Bill's probably getting a little bit uncomfortable with the position right now. Starting to lose that back position. Ernest steps over, yep, and manages to defend. Good job. They reset and they're going to run it again. Go straight back this time. And then to the weak side. Bill's starting to lose the feet. Gets it back, but now he's very incongruent to Ernest's hips now. Okay, but Ernest gets caught in the mount. And see if he hits the shrimp escape, and he does. Ernest has Bill's back now. Falls to the weak side. Trying to stomp that foot to the ground. Okay, uses his hand. Again, if you're going to use your hand, you got to try and get to the heel like that. Exits up top leg. Very good. Butt in the air. Oh, it looks like Ernest managed to get that far hook back in, though. Nope, never mind. See if he could turn and secure the half guard, which he does. That was very good. Couple of precarious positions there, but Bill managed to come out ahead every single time. Considering it's like his first week, not bad at all. Ooh, fakes the weak side, goes to the strong side. Trying to stomp that bottom foot to the floor. Using his hand now. Having a tough time creating incongruency here. I think it's because he's defending the choke. He's got to get his bottom foot out. Ernest going for a handcuff. But manages to lose the hook. Oh, he gets it back in. Stays with the choke. He's got the one arm choke there. Ernest has the back. Denise defending. Also the weak side. Trying to clear either hook with. So she's reaching across the body with the hand. If you're going to go for the bottom hook, I would prefer she uses the bottom hand, generally speaking. It's going to be hard to push it cross body, for lack of a better word. Doing a good job stalling with the choke, trying to get that leg. I can't even tell whose leg is whose right now. Ernest gets a double cross grip, but Denise managed to get her back on the mat. So now we have an interesting scenario where your opponent got their back on the mat, but you still have double cross grips. Ernest makes the right call by switching over to the other side. Now he's got congruency again. Denise still having a hard time freeing either leg. And she's got the added trouble of the double cross grip, which Ernest lets go for now. Denise, you'll see with her left foot, she's stomping Ernest's right foot to the ground. Can't quite get there yet. Let's see what she does with that. See if she can escape from here. Oh, and manages to turn out of it. Still mounted, but better than the back position she was in. Jen has Bob's back here. Bob opts to fall to the weak side. Clears the top leg. I'd like to see him get his butt in the air a little bit sooner to make it harder for Jen to follow. But he managed to beat her to the punch that time. And let's see which side Bob opts to fall to. Weak side again. It's a bottom leg out, turns to the sky. He's got to get that leg into the half guard. And Jen gave up that position a little bit too easily. I'd like to see her get, at least attempt to get on top. Bob falls to the strong side this time. Clears the top leg and gets his, I'd like to see his butt in the air a little bit higher, or else that happens. Let's rewind it 1 second. Jen lost it eventually, but look, she almost managed to get that hook back in. Bob ideally would be using this elbow to keep that hip closed, and his butt would be a little bit higher in the air. Jen attempted it, but lost the position coming out the other side. Not bad, both these guys.